Hey, this is Notser, and this is a quick look at the Baltimore in 0.6.1. The Baltimore is a U.S. cruiser, and the U.S. cruisers are changing. She has 42,700 health, a top speed of 32.5 knots, 9 203mm guns, 12 secondary guns, a surface detect of 9.7 kilometers, and 68 AA defense rating. For my modules, reduced crit chance on main armament, improved aiming accuracy, improved main battery rate of fire, reduced the chance of flood and fire, faster rudder shift, concealment. For my commander, priority target, preventative maintenance, expert marksman, demolition expert, advanced firing training, and concealment again. We are on the map Two Brothers, and this is from the public test server. The Baltimore, the Des Moines, the New Orleans, and the Pensacola, just to name a few, have received buffs. And if I'm not mistaken, 0.6.1 should be out right now in North America and tomorrow for everyone else. The rate of fire was improved. I think it was like 13 or 12 prior to this, but I've got it down to somewhere in the realm of 9 seconds because of the rate of fire and also the buff itself to the ship. How does it feel though, Notser? Well, it feels a lot better. That's a significant boost to the damage output for this ship. You can address destroyers easier. It's much closer to what I would consider the Des Moines feel. And I really like that. I really like that a lot. I intend to try this ship out many times on the stream today. So if you want to see as many games as I can get my hands on, the Pensacola, the New Orleans, the Baltimore, and the Des Moines, just buckle up. We're going to show that off. Also, I think the Japanese torpedoes changed, but I think in general torpedoes changed. So I'm definitely going to be testing this stuff out. Now, in this game, I moved forward. Thankfully, a friendly gave me smoke. Because he gave me smoke, I can be aggressive and show my side. They haven't changed anything about the armor layout or the way this plays outside of the improved rate of fire. It still takes a lot of damage if you make a mistake. It is not as forgiving on the range of the guns compared to other cruisers. You could choose to do that. But what works pretty well is to double down on rate of fire, use the islands to your advantage, and just annihilate the target. I just wanted to set the target on fire and make doubly and triply sure that he was not going to be able to avoid the dot. And that's exactly what we did. And I'm going to move back. I don't have the smoke benefit. The battleships are definitely still very afraid. Well, I'm still very afraid of battleships. But the enemy Donskoy, he shows a lot of his side. And I didn't really have a lot of success in the Donskoy. Now, I played it prior to the steering mod, and I also played it prior to getting better at the game. It's a really unforgiving ship if you show too much of your side. And we were able to do a pretty good salvo, however, he's now angled away from it, so I need to swap back to HE. And that's what I intended to do, as it's very obvious he wants to continue to turn. If he doesn't continue to turn, I'm just going to kill him. And I still do a quick check. Enemy Yamato does not have his fire any longer, so I'm going to try and provide support. The best positioning, I think, for the U.S. cruiser line right now is to be that second line where you can do damage and people really ignore you because there's something better to target, like the Der Grosse. It's very easy for me to kill destroyers as well. I do have radar. It's a normal build by me. Absolutely normal. If I could, probably get Superintendent, probably get Adrenaline Rush, but these were only 15 skill commanders. Not everyone has super commanders, right? To top it off, with the improved rate of fire, it's still devastating against the aircraft carrier. And if you get so lucky that an aircraft carrier spawns in your game, just thank them, because you're going to be able to do a lot of free clearing the skies. It's always had a good platform for that. It just was giving up on the damage output. The fear that destroyers had whenever you entered the area. The Des Moines, absolutely terrifying. Baltimore, not so much. It's going from 12 seconds, or 13, down to 9 with the buff I have currently with this game. That is pretty awesome. and the enemy Der Grosse moving forward aggressively. I'm going to try and angle as much as I can. And look at this guy. Look at the Shimakaze. You can't ask for a better teammate. You really can't. Now, nobody is spotting the Der Grosse. I don't have any aircraft. I decided to use my radar. He's well within it. Yeah, I probably could have used it against the destroyers, but last known position, they're pretty far away. Since he's broadside, swap to AP. Friendlies are going to be able to punish as well, and he's burning for a significant amount, at least 2 fires. And as he moves away, we need to elevate the gun and also swap the ammo type. Nothing too crazy about this. You should just notice that the rate of fire feels better. It just feels better. It feels like I have more control over the outcome of every engagement. I'm not getting sniped as much. I used to have a rate of fire comparable to the Japanese, but I lacked the concealment while firing the torpedoes. The size, honestly, it was not really fair if you really look at it. The Zao, the Ibuki, and by the way, the Ibuki's getting buffed too, so I'm going to play the Ibuki as well. These are great changes to ships that definitely gave up. And the enemy pops a smoke. Of course, I don't have radar at the worst possible moment. I really wish I did. I really wish I did. I do hit the shot. And I consider firing. I also consider, if I hold my fire, maybe I can push forward, punish the lack of vision by him or his teammates. That could work out. You never know. Radar is definitely not going to be up by the time I reach the smoke and can punish the target. So as brand new changes come for the US cruisers and the Japanese cruiser, the Ibuki, and a couple other, what should you expect? Well, I would expect that there's probably going to be a higher than average population of these ships, and look to punish, but also look as a way to learn how to fight yourself. That is really key. It helps a lot to see a target just like you make a mistake that you visually can see. Either they show too much of their side or just enough for the damage to be significant. Maybe they don't use their consumables as effectively as they could. My radar is about to come up, and I would love to use it against this target. We are being engaged by multiple enemies. Look at that, Montana. At the edge of the map. How useful is that? The enemy Hubadovsk, he committed the entire time. A player that might have the ship would most likely decide to not stay stationary. And the radar also picks up on the Z-23 as he tries to break through and go towards C point. And we just fire one off and we take him out. We'll be able to capture this base. The game is basically over. It felt pretty good. It felt really good. The nice thing about the Baltimore, the Cleveland, and the Des Moines, they're basically the exact same ship layout. You can get really comfortable with the angling, how much you need to turn, how much you don't, when you should only use your front guns, when you should use your rear guns. Since I was not detected, I felt like I could reposition and face my guns forward. Also have HE loaded. HE's pretty good. It's not going to give up as much as maybe a German would. And we get lucky with fires. The rate of fire is just going to cascade. It's probably... I'm trying to think of what could have been a more impactful buff to the cruisers. A single change. I mean, this is a very easy change for people to put in. Just change one number, and all of a sudden, wow, it feels great. I can kill targets. I don't have to worry about bringing all 3 guns to bear because I'm doing the equivalent damage with just the front 2, so I can have good angling when I'm having to be engaged by a target. It's really good. It feels pretty good. And I can't really say that about the Baltimore for a long time. A very long time. Now in this game we got 10 fires, 109,000 points of damage done, 2 kills, 2,118 base XP. Most of the damage was the combination of HE and fires. I look forward to playing these on the stream. Hopefully you'll join me. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.